What career things are you doing now since you didn't go to um, the Dress for Success thing?
Good question. I don't know.
I'm doing one on Monday with Turner Communications Group or something.
Oh yeah, I think I want to go to that too. That's right up your alley.
Yeah, I also now I'm just gonna bring a resume and give it to him. Do I have to do you wear a jacket and stuff to that stuff or?
I think I'm just gonna wear like nice jeans and.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I was gonna email uh, Becky Fisher and be like, "Yo, I don't want to show up there and something wrong and then feel like a jackass or something,
Yeah.
or show up too dressed up and look like a jackass."
Exactly. Okay, it's working now. Do you want to interview me first or the other way around?
Are you sure? Are you fine with the questions I sent to ask you?
Oh yeah, they're perfect.
All right. So how do we just start this if
Okay, I'll just start. How about that? I'll be the interviewer and you be the interviewee.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Ready?
I think I'll probably mess up the first one, but
that's okay.
We'll see.
Hi Jacob, I am HR director here at the Houston Zoo, and we're so happy to have you here today. So today will just be a little overview of getting to know you and whatnot. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great. Thanks for having me today.
Perfect. Okay, so first off, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
All right, I'm a senior at Ball State University right now. I'm studying in public communications. I have had a big career doing stuff in marketing, coordinating promotions, and whatnot. I currently work at MS Communications. I've been working there for 5 years. I'm the Next Radio social media intern right now, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm looking for a full-time position, and I really thought that the Houston Zoo would be a good fit for me.
Awesome. Sounds great. So my first question is, I see you have experience with large events at your past job. How can these past events you have worked on relate to the events we host here at the zoo?
All right, so I've worked at, as you saw on my resume and my other stuff that I sent there, I've done the Donatos Freedom Blast at Indianapolis. It's a huge event. I've always been in charge of the kids area, so I've dealt with a lot of kids planning different events, having Royal Pen come in there, putting booths and different activities I could have for the kids. So obviously being at a zoo, it's a very kid-friendly place, so I know a thing or two about what goes on at the zoo, and also the fact being 5 years with promotions and events, I understand what goes on, what all has to do with clients, what the timing has to go in with everything, and all the big deals of all the little small parts that a lot of people don't see.
Awesome. So while working at the Indianapolis Zoo, what was one of the most important things you took away from the organization?
The biggest thing that I probably took away from the organization is the fact how important it is to show what the zoo actually does. Like seeing the animals and stuff is great, but the behind the scenes of the conservation they do, that was a big thing that I think that zoos could be a little more promoting with, because obviously at times zoos get bad backlash with having animals in containment, even though that they are doing research and other things to help these animals further these animals in the wild. For example, at the Indianapolis Zoo, during the Super Bowl, they charged $20 for parking there for people to park there to walk over downtown. But little did people know that all the money for that went to conservation for elephants in Africa. So I think the biggest part that I took away from there was learning how important it is to share facts about that, what the zoos actually do, and not just that they're there for kids to see animals.
I love that. Awesome. So you mentioned that you wrote blogs for your past internship and created Snapchat campaigns for Next Radio. How will this help you with creating a social presence for the Houston Zoo?
So with that, I understood what you can and can't say online. I was very new to that when I first started, and I learned about different things you can say, and having to working for demographics they're working with. Like for B105, it was mainly women, so I had to write more like I was an older 40-year-old woman, which was a lot different. And then same with Snapchat, I have to work different ways with finding that would grab the older crowd and also the younger crowd. So at the zoo, I have to have something that attracts like the kids, that be like, oh, this seems like a fun thing, but also for the parents that they're getting the idea of what they're doing. So it really helped me with all the different demographics I wrote for, really helped me tone in my writing skills of who I should be writing for and how I could actually advertise to them.
Great. My next question is, what is your favorite part about your current role?
My favorite part about my current role is being able to get experience to actually budget things. Like for the past event, I did a Snapchat feed for the Super Bowl, and they just gave me a budget to do and told me what to do with it, or not told me what to do with it, what I could give my own free roam. Sorry, what I could do with it. So I think my favorite part of my current role is just having a little more. I've had more experience with it, so they give me a little more free run with what I can do, and being able to create stuff with like our digital and design team. It gets my creative part of instead for the past like couple years, it's been more of like on the line. I need to do it this way, and now I can actually start to have my creative part come out of me.
Awesome. Sounds good. And then my next question is, where is it? Oh, what do you do at your current job that can translate over to this role?
Well, first thing is at my current job, I do a lot of face-to-face interaction. Not the zoo, obviously. It's all about customer service there. So like that's the biggest thing that can translate over there. I've dealt with people yelling at me for something I can't control, the things that I could fix.
Yeah.
And also, Pat, I don't want to talk about the current job, but also at the zoo, I understood a lot of the biggest things was customers always right. And so no matter what, you always want to make them happy. And the same as goes now, I have contests that people will call that they're not happy about something, and I have to figure out something on the spot to make them happy, because if not, then it ruins our name if they aren't happy. So
good. All right, awesome. Well, that is all I need from you right now. Do you have any questions for me?
my biggest question I have to say is like, what puts the Houston Zoo of others? You know.
Great question. I'll get back to you on that answer.
All right, thanks. And I guess my last question would be is like how important is being involved with the community with you guys, because that's a big important part for me.
Good. That's a great question. I wish I knew the answer. That was really good. Are you actually applying for this job?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that.
So,
Are you gonna move to Houston?
yeah, I'm applying for this job, and then I'm applying for another marketing coordinator zoo at the LA Zoo.
Wow, good for you.
So, yeah, well, we'll see. I haven't been able to get crap yet. So.
Yeah, me either. Don't worry.
All right, so that was easy stuff there.
Yeah.
It's just awkward at the end when you have to like ask questions, but like obviously not expecting people to know. I mean, she doesn't get weird about that, because I mean she does want questions at the end though, because if not, I know she'll get mad because even though she didn't even read through my thing last time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
All right. Let me pull up the real quick. Right. I'm just writing the name down for the thing that you're going for.
No, you're fine.
So. All right. I think let's do it. All right, Hannah, nice to meet you. I'm glad you come and interview today with Power and Sons Construction. I'm with HR here. My name's Jacob, and let's get this started. First off, why do you think you are the best candidate for this position?
I believe I'm the best candidate for this position because I do have experience in the construction industry, and I am passionate about this field, and I would love to learn more. But also the fact that I'm a recent graduate, I feel as though this will be the first real job that I have, and so you guys will be able to kind of mold me into your culture, which I feel you guys are so passionate about, and be able to bring a new perspective to the team at the same time.
Great. Good answer. So, my other question is, can you tell me a little about your experience with marketing?
Okay, so during my time at Miller Pipeline, I was there through the entire time they were rebranding, from the beginning to the finish. And from merging with another company to redoing their website and making a new safety program, I was there to witness it all. And it kind of exposed me to a new marketing type that I've never seen before. So, what I was kind of in charge of was doing the safety program. And for that, I did promo items and did flyers to promote the new safety program to all employees, as well as sending out new emails to get the employees excited, and I also helped developing the new merchandise for the program.
That is very important to get your employees excited about your work, so that's great to know. Another question is, could you give us an example of something you worked on that completely popped, how you recovered from it?
So my first summer at Miller Pipeline, I actually had a lot more responsibility than I thought I was going to have, because we were in a transition of getting a new director, and then the specialist was getting married that summer, so they were always busy. And one week I was left by myself in the office, and it was the same week that the newsletter was supposed to be printed. So what we do is we would always send the newsletter to the printing company before, and then they would send us one back to make sure everything looked good. And when I got it back, it was awful. The pictures were not the right JPEG, and they were skewed. And so what I had to do is go around to employees that worked on the project that we were featuring in the newsletter and ask them if they had pictures that they had taken themselves that I could incorporate into the newsletter. But as I'm sure you know, a lot of construction workers don't have many great phones or don't know how to take a great picture, so that was kind of difficult for me to find a picture that fit well with the newsletter and was appropriate for the certain story that I was covering.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard part, but I'm glad that you're able to see that you did have an issue there and you try to figure out how to fix it. So,
thank you.
Another question is, writing will be a huge part of this job. You mentioned your resume that you wrote and edited for your company's newsletter. How did this set up? How does this set you up to be more of a professional writer? Or how did it set you up to be a professional writer?
Well, I have been able to work on the newsletter at 2 different types of companies that were completely different from one another. And so it allowed me to become more of a versatile writer. So things like writing and researching and editing were so different in both of these roles. And so it allowed me to use different skills to put together the best piece.
Okay. All right. So you talked about there on social media of Instagram, and so our social media presence is not as good as we would like it to be. And I saw that on your resume that you advanced your company's Instagram by 200%. How would you go about doing that for us? Or how would you go about doing that, I mean?
I think advancing your social media is really all about knowing who your audience is. So, for example, at my internship at Indie Acts of Kindness, it was solely a social media role. So we were only present on social media, so we had to take that job very seriously. And this page was already set up when I came into the position. So what I did was I kind of talked to the girl who ran it before and received her advice on the best times on the obvious things, as when to post, what the viewers like to see. And because of that, we collaborated very well, and then we started to get creative and bounce off one another, so that really helped. And together we would do things that were intriguing to the viewers, and we were also able to get out and do different things. Since I was in there helping her, she was able to have more time to do other things, and so we started to get more creative as we collaborated, and this was definitely a team effort.
Great. All right. So my last question for you is: we really try to connect with our community and want to promote our company face to face at different events. Why do you think this is important to a company like us?
I think it's important to a company such as yours because I know Power & Sons really prides themselves on their culture and values, which intrigued me to your company. The construction industry is a unique industry, And the fact that not many people can go out and do face-to-face things or go out and do this type of work, I think it would be really special to the customer to see that you guys are going an extra mile and that you care. And if your company can build face-to-face relationships, it will help the company to stand out in a way that other companies in this industry are not doing.
That is very true. That's a great answer. All right, so do you have any questions for me?
I think one of my questions for you is I'm just kind of curious about what a normal role looks like in this position because I know it's an entry-level position, so I was wondering if a lot of these people are able to be promoted or whatnot, or if they stay inside the company.
That's an important question. I wish I had the answer for it, but I don't. Do you have any other questions for me?
What has been your favorite project you have worked on?
I'm guessing that there probably is a great one, but then again, I don't have the answer to that question.
Well, thank you. That's all the questions I have for you.
Thank you for interviewing me. We'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Perfect. Okay, wait. So I really do want to ask that last question, but do you know how to word that?
What was the question again? Sorry.
What does this role look like? Is there room for promotion? I feel like that's kind of being